My name is Mackenzie Kemp, and this is my financial report of EVMS, now known as ODU. Eastern Virginia Medical School is a public medical school that they have here in Norfolk, Virginia. They just recently merged in last July with Old Dominion University. They took over the medical school here. And with doing that, they added a couple more programs to the university itself, such as nursing and a new nurse practitioner program. But before the merger, they were the partner with the local Centera Hospital from 1978 to present. They're involved in groundbreaking research and exceptional medical care in the area. Some of the programs that they offer within the health system include dermatology, ENT, ear, nose, and throat, internal medicine, and infectious disease, and many others. Infectious disease alone has 10 providers, which are the doctors, and then 2 nurse practitioners. And within those 10 providers and 2 NPs, each of them contract into, it could be 2, 3, 4 different places to bring in a different amount of income per provider. Some of them have assistant professor titles. Some of them have professor. One is even, the chief. EVMS is a hospital system. It's a part of Centera Healthcare, which I said is, the biggest hospital system in the northern region. Being affiliated with Centera gives EVMS a unique structure to be able to provide different types of medical education, clinical training, and they deliver their healthcare in a population-based type environment. It really targets the areas of need instead of just focusing on one person. Here are some EVMS revenues. You can see patient care, $66.4 million, contractual services, which I talked about a couple slides ago. Each provider can have, 2, 3. Some of the examples of those would be like a nursing home. We partner with the public health department and offsite clinics. Tuition and fees brings in a pretty good amount of money, 45.8 million. So that adds to some of the revenue that they bring in. State affiliations, 40 million, grants and contracts, which they use for research studies, 25.3 million. And they have a bunch of other ones. I won't read, facility administrative cost recoveries, 5.7 million. And it totals out to be 308 million roughly. EVMS is most profitable when it comes to their contractual agreement. As you could see in the chart on the previous one, that brings in 86.4 million alone of the total 300 million in revenue. Centera is EVMS's largest contractual agreement. Centera, they have just, in Norfolk, probably like 10 different offices or so. And they go all the way to North Carolina. And any of those providers can have a contract with any of those clinics, infectious disease, dermatology, gynecology, internal medicine, and so forth. Some of the expenses for EVMS, I got these directly off of a tax receipt that they had published online. Grants, they do 43 billion. Oh, I'm sorry, $43 million in grants for 2023. And 2024, they do 65 million. And salaries, employee benefits, compensations, they pay $1.4 billion for 2023 and 1.5 for 2024. And you can see, since EVMS is a public entity now of the state, they publish salaries, so you can see where some of those come from. Other expenses is like, rent, buildings, electricity, all those things that they have to pay back. It totals about $3 billion. And the revenue less expense is about $334 million. Some of the revenue they bring in, contributions and grants, they bring about 1.6 million for 2023. And the current year they do 3.9 million. Program service revenue is 3 billion and 3.4 billion for the prior year of 2023, and for 2024, 3.9 billion. Investment income, which is a lot of the time they use that to for recruiting purposes for physicians, providers, scholarly programs to promote the school. 1.3 million. Other parts of revenue, 3.5 million, and a total revenue of 3 billion 417 million and so forth for 2023, and for 2024, 3.9 billion. Comparing EVMS ODU to the Sunnyvale Clinic, they are very different. They actually have extensive differences. Sunnyvale is a clinic, one certain clinic, and EVMS is a whole hospital system plus a university, which is, their medical school. And within that, they have 30 different programs from computer science, nursing, public health, doctorate programs. And the net revenues alone for EVMS, there's almost there's millions of dollars of a difference from the Sunnyvale Clinic, which is expected because it's one clinic versus a whole hospital system. EVMS pays over $1.4 billion in salaries, while Sunnyvale only pays $126,000. So there's a big significance there, but you can imagine, because one chief of EVMS could make, $500 some thousand, and you have one chief per division, plus a department administrator, COO, CEO. So I can see why there's such a big difference there, that, of course, with the many hospital systems. EVMS is most profitable because they contract with a range of public sectors in West Virginia. When we were merging with ODU, it did take a while because the state kept going back and forth as to what the budget would be for, the 2025 fiscal year. Originally, they were supposed to merge in January of 2024, and then they put that off till July of 2024. They actually did merge, but then within the merger, there was a bunch of fiscal issues, the budget, people not being paid correctly. Also, it's, the university allocates for a significant amount of extra income for EVMS, along with grants and research funding, compared to the small Sunnyvale Clinic. One research grant alone can be $1 million just for one research program. There's one they're doing with dementia that's like 1.4 million currently. So they do bring in a lot of extra income, a significantly more amount than the Sunnyvale Clinic. And the Sunnyvale also has way less expenses than EVMS, due to it just being a sole clinic, and they have just one source of profits, while EVMS, they're spending money on separate contracts for buildings, they're renting something out, they're hosting programs and all those things. So I could see why the difference is so significant. And these are my sources. A lot of them for Virginia, since it's a public entity now with ODU, a state entity, I just typed in, like, you can look up their tax documents, how much they spent, where it's going. So that was really interesting to me, but that is my presentation. Thank you.